What is economics to you? When you think about taking this class, you say, oh, economics. So, what comes to mind when you think of economics?
Business.
Business? Okay, that's good. What else?
Money.
Wow, that's amazing. I heard that before. Money, business, money and economics.
Supply and demand.
Supply and demand, very good. Now we're getting deeper. All right, Anthony, good. Yes. What else?
Monopoly.
Oh, very good. I got a board at my office, 1946 version. It's a classic antique version. I challenge my students sometime Friday afternoon, come by and play with me. If you beat me, you got bonus. One student tried to show up one time, but I forgot what happened. He was like, hey, can I get my extra credit? You see if that Monopoly game in your office? I do. Yeah, I should bring it in sometime. But I'm very careful because it's the antique version, 1946. Yeah. So that's like your grandpa's time. Yeah. Okay, so that's economics. Economics is the study of how people make choices under condition of scarcity. Scarcity is the key word, and how you make choices. So usually you have some problem. We talk about resources. Well, first of all, what's the difference between microeconomics and macroeconomics? Anybody could tell if you know the answer.
Microeconomics.
Oh, no, not like that. You have to speak up and not say speak for yourself. It's right there, read it. I'm sorry, yes,
Micro deals with.
Jamie.
Thank you. Micro
yeah.
deals on a smaller scale, and
Very good.
macro is on a larger scale.
Very good, very well explained. Macro, you look at the big picture of the economy and say, what about unemployment? What about inflation? But microeconomics, you look at smaller picture. Basically, you have some sort of decision-making unit. What is this decision-making unit? People like you and me, what do we call us? How about education? Who's a producer of education? Me. Who's a consumer of education? You. So in other words, we got consumer. Consumers of healthcare, these are the patients who line up in the hospitals. Okay, you got producer. So these are the decision-making units there. What else? Who else? Who's Obama? Is he still in office?
Yeah.
It's still, okay. That's good. Who's Obama? What do we call him? What does he represent? I know he's the...
The country.
Government.
The government.
Very good. So these are the decision-making units that we will study throughout the semester. We start with consumers, and then we go on to producer, and then finally and then we also talk about government regulation. A little bit about regulation. So that basically is smaller scale because you're looking at smaller units of decision makers in the society. Okay. Now, whereas macroeconomics to deal with big picture. What do you study in macroeconomics? I gave you some hint a while ago. What are some of the things you study in the big picture? When you turn on the TV, what are some of the bad news you hear all the times?
Unemployment.
Unemployment, very high. Yes, your name?
Hunter.
Hunter. Okay.
You look at national growth rates and national rates of
Wow.
economic change.
National birth rate. Okay. Yeah, that's got some impact on the economy because the workforce. Okay. So I'm going to put down unemployment, the performance of the economy. How do you measure the performance of the economy? We look at a few indicators. Yes, raise your hand if you want to. Yes.
GDP.
Okay, you look at GDP, gross domestic product. Look at unemployment. What else? When you drive to a gas station, how much was the gas today when you? come in your gas and drive here? How much is it?
195.
195, that's cheap. Where is it?
Right here.
Right here? 195 today?
They don't want to get gas from there.
Which one?
The
Sunoco?
BP.
Cash?
BP.
BP. Yes, never had such a low price. Wow. Oh, I'm scratching my head. Okay, and what do we call that? If you worry about gas prices in the macro sense, what do we call that?
Inflation?
Yeah, very good. Well, okay, a while ago, Hunter mentioned the birth rate, all that, so that's sort of like the labor part of it, the workforce. I think we could talk about economic growth. In that sense, I think there's one more. Do you remember your macro?
I can.
There's one more. What is it? Okay, well, and then you study some other things like, okay, we got GDP, unemployment, inflation. I think that's basically, and then you study government policy. So basically, you look at the big picture as BJ, right, put it, and this is like a smaller picture. So now that you know the difference between the two, I'm also going to tell you, just from my experience, students taking macroeconomics first, it's more advisable to take macroeconomics first because it's easier. You look at the whole big picture. Micro is a little bit analytical. So we have to actually calculate the area of the triangle. How many of you know how to calculate area of the triangle? What's the formula we use? Testing how much you know about math. How do you calculate an area of a triangle? High school math?
Length
Yeah,
squared
come on.
times width squared.
No square at all.
That's just
Yeah,
square. I tried.
very good. Half base times height. Where's that piece of paper? Let me have it. Quiz. We got 3 quizzes. So you might want to write your last name to get your proper credit. Okay, your name is Tyra, is that right? Tyra? And you are Morgan. Okay. Very good. Okay, what you say was very good. That is, what did you say? Half base times height. So we'll do that later on, okay? Let's see what else. So macroeconomic, you study the performance of the big economy and how they improve, but that's not this class. So this class is about microeconomics. How individuals' decision-making unit make their choices based on pricing, based on market structure, and so on and so forth. But the general definition for economics is here. We study how people make choices based on scarcity. Okay, we're going to talk about it. And what do you mean by scarcity? What does the word mean?
Real low.
I'm sorry?
Is it real low?
Real low? More definition? Others? What else?
Not enough to supply.
Not enough, I like that. Lack of something. So let's talk about it. We got this word called resources. What comes to mind when you hear the word resources?
Oil.
Okay, that's your natural resources. Natural gas, oil, and aluminum, copper, iron, and what have you. Okay, that's one definition. What else?
Money.
Yes, Lucky.
Limited.
Limited resources, yes. You describe the resources that way, but I'm asking example of resources. Yes, Chris.
Renewable and non-renewable?
Wow, you get really deep. Oh no, give example. Yeah. What is a non-numeral and non?
Well, non-renewable would be like land.
Oh, you're talking about energy now. Okay, well that's the same thing. Natural resources. I'm talking about other categories of resources. Yes.
Labor.
Very good.
Wow.
Very good. Have y'all heard about HR? What does HR stand for? Come on.
Human resources.
Human resource, everybody know, that's what he's talking about there. Okay, tell me your name.
Henry?
You Mr. Henry, what's your last name?
Simpson?
Simpson, okay, very good. What else?
Technology.
Yeah, technology could be considered a resources. One more, you and I have it. Yes,
Capital.
capital, okay, that goes to, capital is good, I like capital. When you think of capital, what do you think?
Money.
What are some of the examples of capital? Yes.
Money.
Money, yes.
Money.
Did you say money 2 times today?
Yeah.
Ah, never mind, yeah. Okay, capital usually you think in terms of money. And it could be assets as well. Oh, why is that 3 lines there? Gee, thinking too much today. I think it's only 2 vertical lines. Okay, so like assets such as capital, it could be in terms of factory. Okay, or your tractor. Yeah, it costs a lot, 15,000. That could be your capital right there. There's one more that's you and I have. And we have the same equal amount. What is that?
Time.
Very good. Time. You got 24 hours, I got 24 hours. How do you use it? It's different from how I use it. So use it wisely this semester. Make it good. Right? We stay here 50 minutes each time. So make it good. Bill Gates, yeah, he's got 24 hours too. How does he spend his? We don't care. Yes, we do care to some extent. How do you spend yours? You better care, because that's going to determine if you do well in this course, right? How you allocate your time, which is limited. So that's what Lucky was referring to, which is limited, because all this are limited. Do you think you have all the money in the world? Do you think you have all the time in the world? No. Because you heard people say like, I don't have time. What does that mean? Actually, you do. You know, the minute you say you don't have time, say you do. You got 24 hours. What do you mean you don't have time? Come on, explain. It just means I got limited time. I got to go practice my baseball. I got to go for my dates, so on and so forth. So then you have to allocate the resources. That's economics. You allocate what Lucky you call limited resources according to our unlimited wants. Yeah, what is enough? So, a while ago somebody say not enough or lack, L-A-C-K. Have you ever heard people say, I got enough money? Usually like that, oh, come on, there's no limit there, right? Prosperity could go up higher and higher, up to heaven, right? What about time? We do have limited time, 24 hours. What about labor? Oh yeah, let's talk about labor. We got 24 hours. So do you think you could practice out there basketball, play 24 hours a day? Even though as much as you love to play basketball, like to watch all those NBA games, you do, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do, I know. I could tell, just, okay, so, but what's gonna happen at the end of the day if you just play 24 hours basketball? Very exhausting. So I want my 24 hours back. I have just thrown away at 24. Okay, it's not possible because you got limited human being, you know. I mean, you can only, your capacity is maybe like, what is that? What's the longest game you can play? Basketball. 4 hours? When do you get tired and say, oh, come on, I need to go eat something or something? Maybe 3 hours? So there is a limit as to how much you could take, you know. It's just like in this class, you know. Have you met your limit yet? Is this getting boring? So you might say, oh yeah, that's it, you know, I think I want to just close up, walk out now because this class is over, when I say it's over. Hello, it doesn't work that way. We got 50 minutes here to spend, so we might as well like, now if you think this class is boring, hey, you got a chance to switch, right, at the end of this class. So, okay, so these are all limited because you don't have all the oil in the world because you have to import it from the Middle East. We don't have all the human resources, and there's one other thing I should say, talents. How many of you consider yourself someone with talents? Raise your hand. That should be everybody, come on! What's your talent, Hunter?
Golf.
Very good, he can play golf. What's your talent? Vincento, right? I can't even say it right. I know I got the first 3 syllables right, but, the letters right, but,
Acting.
sorry?
Acting.
Oh, acting, you like acting, very good. What's yours, PJ?
JB.
JB. Don't say DJ, JB.
You don't play with
My hometown, yo.
That's cool.
Did you say Playboy? Get out my
My talent,
Yes.
I think I'm pretty sociable, as you can see, but, that's it.
You good at writing? Is writing one of your best?
Okay.
Okay. You would score an A if writing is bad. Gillian, what's yours? You're good at presentation, I know. But what else? Huh?
I'm creative.
You are creative. What sense? Can you draw?
I wish.
You could text fast, I know. I remember. I'm kidding, yeah. Okay. So some of you play a musical instrument, you could sing, right? We might utilize that opportunity while you're here in this class sometime. Oh, I'm kidding. Yeah, creative. Okay, so you don't have all the resources in the world, so you have to make decision, and basically, I want to introduce the word trade-off. What is trade-off? What is a trade-off? You come to class today, didn't you? What could you have done?
Anything else?
I know, sleeping.
Yes, left
Take another class, swimming in the gym,
We go get something to eat.
eating for 50 minutes. That's a long time to eat. But,
You gotta chill once you eat.
Yeah.
That's it.
so you have to make choices. So here's one example. If you look at the optimal class size, let's just say that the university, from a university viewpoint, let's look at an example for personal tutorial course. That's about. Is the class over? My goodness.
Yeah.
Time to go.
Okay, thank you very much for coming. I'll see you on Friday. Yeah. Oh yeah, a couple of you, there's some people told me, I think about 7 of you, please remember to print out a copy of your syllabus and show it to me. Don't want to take the quiz. And then a couple of you, I need